Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are in the garden again today. I thought I'd take you along for another project that I'm going to be working on today. I showed you this when I was working on my shed. It's this kind of like nature center, nature nook inspired area for my kiddos. I already got started on it, but it is now the month of May. So it's Theo's birthday month and we typically try to host outside. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Kind of depends on how quickly this grass can grow, how the weather is, all that stuff. But I thought that I would do some cleanup back here because I want to get this in order so that the kids can actually use it. And it's sort of muddy, sort of unsafe at the moment. So I'm trying to work on it to improve it a little bit. And then I'll probably just be doing more throughout the summer months. Okay, I know this is a weird angle and I'm like clearly too big for this kid's table. I feel like I never introduced myself anymore, so if you're new here, my name's Nicole. I make videos about whatever it is I happen to be working on. I'm always doing different things. I need gloves. Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 3, so whatever I feel inspired or motivated to do, decluttering, organizing, tip videos, whatever, I will film it and share it when I can. Personally, as a mom, I feel like I have a hard time feeling motivated some days. And so just having this community and like a reason to get up and do things, sometimes just filming it is the reason, is helpful for me. And I feel like it helps other moms, and I watch other moms that motivate me to like get up and go. Because, you know, we can come up with a million excuses or be tired or distracted or whatever. So this is what's getting me going lately, gardening stuff. So let me share with you some pictures that I was super inspired by to create this kind of nature nook. I don't know what to call this. Nature nook. Mud kitchen play area for my kids. I find a lot of inspiration on Pinterest, and like once I see it and get an image and a vision in my head, I can't like unsee it, and I have to create it. To get started on this, I basically needed to start sourcing logs. I didn't really have any logs this big because we haven't cut any trees down or whatever. So I reached out to my dad, who has access to logs. He's always working on different things and has some land, and I think he just had to cut down like a tree or whatever. And I said, hey, can you try to get me like some smaller logs I can use for chairs for the kids, and then like one larger one that I can do for a center table. And I like sent him the picture. So he did his best and actually wasn't able to get a stump big enough to be a table. So what I did was I took 3 of the bigger ones that were like the height I wanted, and I wedged some of the smaller ones in between to create a little more surface area here, because I did dig down into the dirt to like make sure these are secure, because I don't want them to wobble. I don't want the kids to move them. Same with the chairs. These are all dug in. But in addition to that, I actually tied some fishing wire around the other day when I made this, and right now I'm adding some twine because these in-between pieces, you know, they don't fit perfectly in there, and I just want to try to keep things stable. I did attempt to use some wood glue like in between, and I don't know if it's going to help. I mean, this is waterproof, so potentially if it rains, it'll help a little bit. Honestly, it's not too bad. So the kids, they play with their rocks here. Remember how I said I'm going crazy because they keep bringing all these rocks into the house? Well, now that we have this area, it's perfect because they bring them all here. And they're actually at the beach with my sister Andrea today. I mentioned to you guys, she has her own YouTube channel where she does like rock collecting, and the kids love watching her. So they were so excited because she wanted to bring them today. And I told them to collect some pretty rocks because I have a really cool project for like some stepping stones we're gonna make back here. They like to play here. They like to put pretend food on these little logs, which are plates, but I had Richie cut these up from extra stumps that we had in the yard. They can stack them, they can make different things with them. We have some wood bowls. I have a whole bunch of like just metal cans and stuff that I thrifted or got from estate sales that I keep back here for them. I just tossed these 4 extra logs back here. And so now we call this the kitchen, and Aria does her cooking back here. She loves it. I think eventually I want to find an actual like outdoor mud kitchen wooden thing to put back there off Facebook Marketplace or something. But in the meantime, this will be fine. Threw this up here. This was like extra garland from a birthday party, I think Theo's party last year. So the bulk of what I want to get done today is to actually define the border. Last time I showed you guys this area, I had just put like brick around the edge temporarily. It wasn't something I wanted to stay long term. Trying to keep this, you know, budget friendly and affordable and just like reuse materials I already have. I switched the brick out to these logs, which were actually taken down from our big tree here. The arborist did come, they raised the canopy and they got rid of a ton of branches. And I was like, please set some aside for me. I want to do a project with them. So I need to just define this border a little bit better. So I think I need to dig like a shallow trench all around to get the log kind of like lodged in there. So it's like flush against the ground. And then I can add some wood chips in here. Decided I'm just gonna use what we used in this area, which is called pine bark. And it's not wood chips, it's kind of like mulch, but it's softer, rounder bark edges. And it's mini pine bark. So I get it from Menards. All right, I'm just gonna start tossing this on. I don't even know if I have enough to cover it, but I just want a thin layer. I don't want it to be too thick because since I only did a single log height all the way around, it's actually not that high. But I think it looks cleaner that way instead of stacking them how I had it before. So I'm just gonna do a pretty thin layer of this. I think it'll help for when it gets like muddy out here, especially on rainy days, because like the kids come back the next day and all their toys are dry, but the floor is still kind of wet. So I think this is gonna help with that. And I still have more space to fill. It always amazes me how little mulch goes. Okay, let's do a quick sit test because how can I expect my kids to sit in here if I'm not comfortable sitting on here? It is softer than like wood chips for sure. But what are you gonna do, guys? It's nature. I did my best. And I need one more bag to fill up the back there and then more bags actually to fill up the playground so it can all match with fresh mulch. I feel like I'm just blending in at this point because I'm literally the color of this pine bark and I'm just like a floating head. You really like your mint, huh? Mm-hmm.
Look at the clover, Mama. Look how much it's growing.
Steve, you ready to eat?